We are ready to move forward in this program that was started some time ago. We speak not only of this lifetime, but many, many lifetimes that you have had where you have been working toward this exact time in your history, in your future, as you are living it right now. I come to you with reverence and respect for who you are and for the path you are traveling on earth. All of you put down roots into the earth from which you build your life. When we look at the workers of light, one of the most common voices we receive is a demand for accelerated intervention, a demand for immediate intervention. In fact, from the bottom of our hearts, many of us hope to intervene immediately and end the suffering of the earth. But intervening now would bring a huge hidden danger, which is that the power of darkness may make a comeback. And we never hope that this power will once again sweep across the Milky Way, wreaking havoc on life. In short, abnormality can be considered as an opposing existence to the divine origin. Unlike the divine origin, abnormality is not conscious and has no reason, purpose, logic, etc. for its existence. This is the way in which abnormality exists. What a joyful, fun way to come together, beloveds. This is indeed what this life is all about: joy, fun, and the celebration of life itself. Beloved ones, too many times in life humanity restricts themselves because of set rules and regulations. This channel is very good at that. Therefore, when you create a space where you push your boundaries to do things differently, which I teach all the time, different things happen to you. Different energies are invited to enter, thus different opportunities stream forth. It appears that Texas is getting ready to secede from the Union. I was wondering if you could comment on that, and then all the action at the border, you know, the Biden administration and the fight that might be going on there coming up real soon. Although we cannot tell you directly how this is going to play out, we can tell you that it is going to play out. It will work out exactly as it needs to in each and every moment moving forward. We know that is not what you want to hear. You want to hear, yes, there are going to be clashes of both sides, and good versus evil, and this will be the end of the movie, or the beginning of the movie, however you wish to look at this. We cannot do that. You absorb a huge amount of stimuli as a small child, and you collect that energy in your emotional body. In the very beginning, it is still not at all clear who you are in the midst of all these stimuli and impressions. But slowly an eye forms, a center point in the energy field that you are. Gradually a ground emerges beneath your feet, and an inspiration arises in your heart that is unique to you. And by you, I am referring here to your greater self, your soul. When you incarnate, you take a plunge into the deep, you surrender. You allow yourself to be flooded by the impressions of a new life. And your earthly personality becomes conditioned and formed by the many impressions you receive. But in you is also a still place, a quiet space that comes straight from your soul. From our perspective, anomalies have a characteristic of bringing unexpected mutations. This mutation takes advantage of its origin and the lack of understanding of anomalies among sentient beings. Therefore, from our perspective, having enough anomalies can bring unpredictable mutations. For example, millions of years ago, anomalies caused some angelic beings who intended to directly experience anomalies to understand them to mutate into dark forces. Based on our exploration and experience, we believe that darkness must be completely eradicated. If it were to make a comeback, our efforts would be in vain to some extent. So, the cause of darkness abnormality must be eliminated to a certain extent to prevent the possibility of a resurgence of dark forces. And the Earth is currently the largest gathering place for anomalies. And there are also some around the Earth, which is also the last and only place in the universe where darkness exists. Beloved ones, the human brain mind is probably one of the most complicated, intense, complex, wired apparatus of creation known to man. In fact, I will go as far as saying that very little of the wirings of the brain has been fully discovered. There is a whole new world that is ready for humanity to awaken to, but not until time presents itself as correct. When you create situations of pushing boundaries and barriers, that is when you open the door to invite new discoveries to become known. This current time on your planet is a doorway such as this. Surrender into the expansion of it all. Expand your mind, rewire your brain, surrender into the brain function of the heart, for the heart rules all. Things which restrict you within thinking can never restrict you within deep, compassionate feeling, and therefore knowing. You can never unknow things. The heart will, when you allow yourself to go in search of the many gems and jewels contained within, reveal to you a very complex life system of its own. Your scientists know this, they have tapped into it, and although they revealed some of this info, much will still be discovered. The heart can indeed overrule anything, absolutely anything. But we can tell you that it is a great moment that is approaching here, a great moment that will bring about massive change to the population of this country. Of the United States for America in terms of moving closer and closer to what was intended those 200 plus years ago of the new republic. The republic that this was supposed to be. But as we have said before, and as you have heard before, this is not only the change here in this country, in the United States for America, and the new republic for this country. It is a new republic for the entire planet, for the world consciousness as they become ready for it. So just allow the process to play out. Watch it, be aware of it. Do not become attached to it though. Just know that it is going to play out exactly as it needs to in the moment, by moment by moment. That quiet space comes directly from heaven, from the cosmic dimension from where you came. It is through the art of living here on earth that, over time, restores your connection with this place of stillness, this quiet space in your heart, in your being. The moment you find yourself within this silence, this core place, you begin to live. With a capital L, you no longer are lived by the many external impulses that determine your emotions. You may remain under pressure from a lot of influences in your life, many of which do not really fit you and may not nurture you, but there is now a counterforce. You now have a solid foundation to work from, so you now can focus on the rediscovery of yourself. Ideally, in a highly developed society, this turning point, from where you are going to find yourself while in the midst of all the impressions, occurs during your adolescent and teen years. A highly developed society will foster in children and young people a certain respect for tradition. But it will also encourage them to find their own way in life and in society. A highly developed society in which there is spiritual awareness, in which there is wisdom and knowledge about the soul, will encourage young people to find their inner path and free themselves from expectations and antiquated traditions. You may say that we have not triggered intervention now, and there are also many people suffering and dying on Earth. However, we have triggered intervention now, and some people may die temporarily. But when we land, we can save more people. That's right, but there's a higher perspective, which is that if we intervene now, we're giving another chance for an abnormal mutation. We can clear the existing dark forces, but this force will give birth to the dark forces again. If they make a comeback, more people will suffer terrible things. You may say that we already have enough experience. We can trigger intervention now. Or we can strictly monitor the situation in the universe in the future to prevent darkness from breeding again. We can do this, but if we do, darkness will also appear in unexpected ways. Because this is the characteristic of abnormal mutations, which utilize the lack of understanding to bring about some unpredictable things. No one knows everything. Even the origin is constantly evolving itself. When tapping into the higher essence of the brain, you open up a spectrum of mind exploration, and there within lies the true gem of higher thinking. This allows you to ultimately surrender into the eventual balance of the sacred mind. This too is what the pulse of any full moon brings to you. Yet you needn't be under the full moon to tap into this energy to allow transformation. Listen to the essence and life support system contained within and around your heart center. There you will find the answer to each of your questions from a heart, not brain response. Allow the mind to explore wider thinking. When you are able to finally fully let go and surrender into the essence of the scared mind. That is when you pedal on a bicycle without pedals as life takes you on a journey of its own. You can only experience and enjoy this once you surrender into allowing yourself to do so. Change the way you do things, break barriers, extend the thoughts that tends to curb you. Share emotions that you have never been able to. Allow yourself to open up and blossom into the most beautiful, magical, magnificent being that you are. Dear brother, there is a much bigger picture playing out here, and it is not about the state that you know as Texas leaving the United States. It is not about that. It is about creating an atmosphere of sovereignty by each state. That each state would rule itself, and that the federal meddling government would stay out of the state's business, you see. The timeline that is being created right now by the experiences that Texas is having is creating a timeline for each state to create its own sovereignty, its own government, you see. So it is much bigger than one state leaving a union. It is about each state becoming its own state, its own nation, you see. As this timeline is formed, there will be regional councils. There will be regions rather than countries, you see. Regions that identify with like-minded people that have a semblance of what we will call rules or laws that are agreed to by the people of those regions, run by councils, not run by government. That is what is coming, you see. I am telling this to you because you who are present here naturally want to play a role in this awakening process of your society and on Earth. You stand in the midst of life, and you have also heard the call of your soul. But perhaps that call is still not entirely clear, and so there are times when you feel yourself drift away from your inner voice. Yet there is a definite movement in each of you to be on the path and to make a difference in your environment and society. I ask you, first of all, to make this inner movement a search with the intention of finding your own voice and true nature. Look within yourself and feel your own desire to wake up, to allow your soul energy to flow, to be inspired, to search with trial and error. In each of you is a determination, a driving force to bring your own soul and spirituality to earth. It is important to honor and respect this part of yourself, because this need to develop that part of yourself is not yet something that is acknowledged by the world. It calls for courage and determination by you to do so, because when you do this, you are, in a sense, stepping outside societal norms. Feel that power and courage in yourself. In a way, it is not even something you do, it is something you naturally have to do. And it is a sign of maturity of the soul when the soul, by its own nature, longs for a degree of inwardness and seclusion, and again wonders why things are the way they are. The source has already started personally handling exceptions, and everything is accelerating. You don't have to wait too long. Even if you don't have to wait too long, I suggest live your own life well. I really don't want to see anyone give up on living their own life just because they are waiting for intervention. We intervene in the hope that you can have a good life and not let our hopes be reversed. Therefore, take care of yourself. I know living on earth is not easy, and I know you are facing difficulties, even if I don't empathize with it. Please forgive us for not being able to provide you with wealth, technology, and so on right now. As based on the reasons I mentioned earlier, we are unable to directly land among you. The anomalies on Earth can interfere with the operation of spacecraft. So our chances of directly appearing and showing you the material form of our spacecraft are very limited. The same goes for landing. We will try our best to find opportunities to land. Without suitable conditions and timing, we will find it difficult to land, and at least we will bear the risks and losses. If you want to have face-to-face contact with us, you need to be prepared for yourself. You can refer to the information about the touchpad protocol in the blog above. We will log in when feasible. The soul essence of man allows the brain to drive your vehicle on your insistence for as long as you want. When the brain shows interest in learning all the markings or signs of the road along your journey, the soul encourages it to take the free will driver's seat for explorations. This is where the mind concept comes in, for the brain concept is the lowest. Then you have the mind concept. Then you have the sacred mind, or the higher mind, and then soul mind. I am presenting it in this way as this has created confusion amongst many when it comes to separating these and the thought process functioning thereof. The brain will tell you not to do it as you have never done it. The mind will say, I dare you to. And the sacred mind will say, trust me, let's do it. Beloveds, the moon essence that oversees Mother Gaia anchors within a reminder of the sensitivity of self, stirring sensitivity within the male aspect of all to become more pertinent. This is when the sensitive aspect within the masculine guide in a beautiful and soft way. The key is to be wary of over or underactive emotions. This is when sensitivity within the feminine goes into power overdrive and within the masculine the opposite. To bring this into balance, you need to bring the brain-mind functioning into balance so that the soul can express what it came to do. In so doing, it can finally indicate to the body, thus the human, what it means to truly explore the journey of your life.